All you have to do is close your eyes and listen.
Welcome to episode 28 of TSGG Chat. I'm your host, Kevin Bork. With me this week, we've got Jake, Brett, Brennan, and Kailey. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to be here.
Nice to be back. Brennan was going to say that when you took it from him.
You stole it. Sign up with us over at tsgg.online. Follow us on Twitter at TheSocialGG. Subscribe to us at youtube.com/thesociety. Watch us at twitch.tv/TSGG online. Get early access to us if you subscribe at patreon.com/TSGG. Tune in to our Twitch channel this Sunday, December 2nd at 12 p.m. Eastern for our extra live stream part 2, where we will play games to raise money for sick kids. This week in the news, we have Brett giving us a complaint for Xbox.
Oh, you really marked this down? He did.
Oh, I sure did.
I knew he'd be excited when I had it.
This is a consumer mistake, by the way.
It's
But you
not.
go ahead and voice this complaint.
It's not a real complaint.
Quotations.
It's just, I got a headset, and it's wireless, and you can't wirelessly use it with Xbox. You have to plug it into your controller,
No matter what.
no matter what.
You know where he found that information? On the website for the headphones.
You also can't
That
use
said-
USB microphones either, like this one that I'm using. Doesn't work.
Yeah.
They won't.
No?
let you.
It's
Mm-mm.
because it takes
It
up a
has
USB
to go
slot.
through.
So for me, what I had to do for this microphone is I had to set it up through my computer and make an actual Xbox party through my computer
Yeah,
and talk through there.
I can do that with my headset as well.
So you
Wow.
need extra peripherals.
Yeah, but it's not. I mean,
It
it's
came with the cord to do it as
yeah.
well, though.
I mean, I can still use them. It's just
An
Oh,
extra step.
Wireless.
yeah. Well, I can still use them wirelessly as well. I just have to do it through my a laptop on the side.
Mm.
It seems like an oversight.
Well, they have some that are like Turtle Beaches make a headset. that
So do
people-
Astros. It's just the brand he bought isn't designed for it.
No, it's just weird to me, like with
Well,
them
the
implementing
brand I
Mixer
bought
and
is
everything.
Logitech.
Yeah.
It's not like a generic brand.
No, I'm talking about Microsoft. They have launched Mixer. They want you to stream right from the console, but they don't let you connect a USB microphone to the console.
Right.
Strange.
Yeah,
Strange indeed. I have a
I've
complaint
never known
about Xbox since we're airing it out. My complaint is that the Xbox, I've never had an Xbox One before.
Mhm.
And so
As
We-
evidenced by his gamer tag.
recently got us. And I got to say the Xbox dashboard is the most horrific thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's pretty
I
messed up.
completely disagree
I
with that.
disagree completely.
The Xbox
is
dashboard
a
is
mess.
so superior to the
I hate
PlayStation.
Not even
PlayStations.
close.
I am with Kevin.
The Xbox dashboard is atrocious. And it has built-in ads. No thank you, Progressive Auto Insurance.
I've never.
Exactly.
I've
seen
never
that.
seen that.
Oh my gosh, it's
That
Do
might
you
be,
have
that
it
might
up
be a
there?
setting, guys.
Do you have an internet browser open?
No, that's right on the
I
dashboard.
don't have that.
right from as soon as you plugged it in, turn it on.
They're right
It's
there
horrible.
on the
I'm gonna show
dashboard.
you how to fix that afterwards.
That's
I
gotta
think.
be
Good, but it
Please do.
shouldn't be on there.
I've never had that.
I've
Even
never
when we
once
just bought
had
an
that.
Xbox. Actually.
The only ads we see is like get this game with gold, Game Pass
Yeah, I
for
have
free,
those.
stuff like that.
I don't have a Progressive Auto. I don't know.
Navigating
I've
through-
literally
Super
never
weird.
seen that.
Navigating through and all the windows that are on there is just
It's
awful.
just like using
It's just
Microsoft
terrible.
stuff, and I hate that upgrade. Like the tile thing, it's just really distracting and
Oh,
awful.
I just disagree.
PlayStation's XMB is
Nope.
way
I
superior
hate
to that.
PlayStations.
You know,
no
if I-
kidding, you hate PlayStation. That's not a...
No, I hate PlayStation's dashboard. I hate that I have to open a whole nother thing to switch people. I have to go, like when you want to go to the store, you have to completely open a thing that takes forever to load. Like it's
You have to do the same thing on Microsoft.
No, you
What are
don't.
talking
Hit RB
about?
three
Click RB,
times.
and it's that you're
It's
in the
store.
Okay, these are shortcuts that they don't tell you about.
I
But
wanna-
if you
You
go
just gotta get
navigating
used to
through
it, my guy. You've never
you-
used an Xbox before.
If you are simply comparing the thing to thing, you're not talking, well, this one has shortcuts. You're talking, how do I get to the store? I go to the store. It takes forever to load on both systems. Microsoft is slow.
I never had
Switching from pages is slow.
I don't know.
No, it is, because I thought it was just ours, and we may have a defect, and I looked it up, and that's the number one complaint across the board. Everybody hates the dashboard, so you guys are in the minority of liking it.
I don't know.
Fair
I when I first got a PlayStation, I hated it. I couldn't.
I still hate it.
I think it might just be a comfortability thing, like you're used to it. But I can't stand PlayStations. I hate that I have to go to the power menu just to switch users and
Joining a party, you can't just hold
I'm
the
a
middle
little
button.
upset
Yeah.
that the
Disgusting.
Xbox has one less character for use.
What do you
for
mean?
The game tag.
For your gamer tag.
I found that out the hard way
She couldn't do hers. They
because I
cut it
clicked
off.
too quickly, and now my gamer tag does not match my
You
PlayStation
can change
one.
it.
No, she
No.
There's
can't
a
make it any
character
longer.
limit. Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So-
I
The
thought you
one
meant
that she
you
has
could-
on the PlayStation,
yes,
she cannot
yeah.
have over
So
here.
now
It's
because
Guardians Gargantua.
now
Yeah,
it's
just throw that
Garden
out
Yeah, I
there
was
for
gonna say,
everyone there,
yeah,
Brett.
everyone can
It's live
follow
on
right now.
stream.
What?
We played her
It
account
is
live on stream.
That's
to
fine.
be fair.
So now it's Garden's Gargantua unless I pay $10.
Yeah.
Fix it.
Well,
To
you can
fix
actually
it and
email them
still
and they'll
not
fix it
have
for you.
what you want.
No,
You
but they're
just
not
gotta
going to
go
have
through
Garden's
Microsoft
Gargantua.
No, I know.
customer support. Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
Any
is
customer support
I
is
didn't.
garbage.
I actually had no idea that was a thing. My gamer tag is not nearly that long.
Yeah, mine's like 10 letters.
I mean, I've had that gamer
Mine
tag
also is
for
not.
literally like 15
I didn't know
years.
it was one less. Yeah, I had no idea
Yep.
that was a
So
thing.
no, that is a thing.
All right, let's get into some actual news. Or we can sit here and have this debate all night.
I mean,
it's pretty
Go
much
ahead,
every
Jake.
podcast.
You got something to throw out?
oh no, I mean, nothing really because you guys had all the nails that I've heard of. I didn't know that there were shortcuts for the controller, and I just actually did a little
Guys,
look see.
there are tabs up at the top that tell you what's
yeah,
there.
well, like on PlayStation, all you got to do is speak to it, and it'll go to the store. So,
You can do that with Xbox. Just say, "Hey, Cortana," and then it'll do whatever you tell it to do.
well, listen, you don't have to call it anything. You just say,
You don't have to
go
call
to
it.
the store.
I don't know why you said Cortana. You don't have to say that.
I mean,
You
you
say
might as well.
Xbox, it'll start listening.
I
And
just
then
like to
tell
talk to Cortana.
Yeah, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
How's Master Chief doing? Ah,
it. He's very dead.
Ask
Okay.
Cortana. Anyway, let's get to some news, shall we?
yeah, go for it.
This one comes from GameSpot. Rockstar has finally delivered details on Red Dead Redemption 2's online mode, revealing when it's going to kick off. So, just so you know, they say that Red Dead has shipped 17 million copies already.
Wow.
Well, it was over 15 million 8 days in. So
That's insane. Okay, so they're rolling this out slowly
of
over the
money.
next few days.
oh yeah.
The first group of people that are going to be able to play are those who purchase the Ultimate Edition.
The super duper edition.
Nice.
Anybody who has this edition gets to jump in on November 27th, which if you are listening today, that is today. So if you have the Ultimate Edition, go ahead and jump in there.
Ash
And
also
that
comes
starts
to
at
today.
8:30 a.m., so it actually released before this did. The next group of people being given access is to anyone who played the game on October 26th. That was the
day of
launch
the
day.
launch.
If you are one of those people, you can head online the following day on the 28th.
Which is kind of a cool feature, actually. I like that.
Yeah, and if you played the game between October 26th and October 29th, according to Rockstar's data, you'll be able to join the fun on November 29th, the day after. And then public access to Red Dead Online will be available to anyone that owns Red Dead Redemption 2 from November 30th on. And
So
they're
it did
doing
launch in November, like we thought it would, just a little
Yes.
later
Very
than
late.
expected.
they're doing this rollout to help ease into.
Their servers won't crash,
Yeah,
basically.
they
is
want to
what they're
mitigate
saying.
major issues.
Cough, cough. Some games.
I'm glad that they waited till after Thanksgiving because that way it really gives you time to not be distracted, and also our Black
For
Friday
those of us
sales
who are adults and have
Yeah.
lives and jobs
Yeah.
and whatnot.
I was actually gonna complain about that because for kids or people who are on like vacation break for Thanksgiving, they didn't get to play it, and then
Well,
as
they're-
soon as they go back to school, they get to play it.
Yes, but I'm an old.
Yeah,
So.
see,
None of us are youngsters in
We
school.
don't have to worry about
anymore.
that.
yeah, that doesn't affect us, but I'm just saying a lot of gamers
Because
are.
I would have been really disappointed because I participated in the cooking process
Right.
for Thanksgiving, and that was an all-day thing. So all day was spending with family and stuff. It wasn't distracting. So I could actually spend time with the family versus going, oh, I'm
Thinking-
just going to sneak off and go try to get some gaming in.
Rob
Some
is
Red
stage
Dead
coaching
going on.
Thanksgiving
with
I've
my
ever had.
The
squad.
turkey's
Sneaking
burning.
away to
Nobody
play
cares.
video games.
I cooked a turkey. My bacon turkey. That's what I cooked.
Bacon turkey?
Did you wrap
was
the
your
turkey
birthday,
in
guy?
bacon?
My br-
Welcome to the 30s.
Oh, thanks.
Congrats.
Yikes.
Happy
You're
birthday.
So about the turkey, I put orange slices all over the turkey, and I put a little savory and everything, and then I
Around
wrap
it or all over it?
all over it, like orange slices all over it, and then I put bacon over that.
Delicious.
Did you bake the turkey or fry it?
I baked it because it's gonna basically fry itself, honestly.
That sounds terrible.
My mom makes
You don't
a
think so?
bacon wrap.
Oh,
You think
with
that'd be
grouse.
good?
The oranges? Where does
It's
that fit in?
it's
Like, I
it's
understand pineapples and cherries on a ham, but
it's a citrus, and it's
Yeah.
just it just adds more flavor. It really does.
Why
There's
not
you don't
pineapple,
taste
though?
honestly
Why
the,
orange?
the orange over the bacon.
yeah, why not pineapple?
Orange is just a weird fruit for that.
That's a good question. I just followed the recipe that I was
It
was,
called for it?
It was passed down from generation to generation.
My mother uses
So-
oranges on grouse, when bacon wrap grouse, and then she uses
Maybe it's a
oranges.
poultry thing. This is now TSGG cooking.
Culinary school.
You now know what to do with your bird.
Yeah.
Yeah, the turkey itself, I took one cut in and then it just kind of fell apart, and I'm like, oh, because
That sounds about right.
yeah, it was so moist because the bacon.
Oranges and
It's
the
a
bacon.
terrible word.
Well, how was
It
it?
would, huh?
It came out what?
Very moist.
What?
Moist.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, finally, back to the article.
Moving on.
Rockstar is expecting the inevitable turbulence of launching any online experience of this size and scale. And it is asking the Red Dead Redemption 2 community to report any issues and share their feedback so that Rockstar can shape the experience with them.
Same
Great.
thing they did
Yeah,
with GTA.
That's good. And
This is
that
the
they
way
should-
to launch something like this
The good thing about Rockstar is that they should have that feather under their cap now that
with GTA.
with GTA
Right.
exactly.
Should, but we'll be talking about another company that
Rockstar
isn't
doesn't.
where that there's just nothing.
Rockstar doesn't really disappoint though,
Oof.
as opposed to another company.
Pew. Anyways, so have you how much of of the game have you completed it all through, like 100%?
70%.
Oh,
Did you finish the story?
Our sister did.
70% of the story.
My 18-year-old sister finished it.
And what did she think?
Well, this is like her,
It's her favorite game.
This is- which
Of all time?
Well, the first one was. I would
Yeah.
assume
I mean,
the
she's
second
18,
one
so-
this is what she got
supplanted
for her
it now
birthday from us.
that's dope.
Nice. That's good news.
Awesome brothers.
Oh, we know.
from us, from this guy.
All right.
Credit stealer.
Let's not forget, on Thursday, December 6th, it will be the Game Awards.
Credit thief.
And we are going to live stream that on our Twitch channel. What time do we decide yet? Check out tsgg.online for
it
the
starts at
official
8:30.
posting.
The Game Awards start at 8:30, so
That'll be up
Eastern.
sometime here.
Yeah, we'll put that up.
8:30 at night.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
To
It's
10:30.
only about 2.5 hour show.
Yeah, I think last year I went 3.
Well, their official time says 8:30 to 10:30, but it
Oh,
could
it
go
does.
longer than that.
Yeah.
It's
It depends on how Jeff does this year. He's doing a much, much better job of reeling people in. There was that outburst last year from that one developer who said, fuck the Oscars. That happened. And he was
Fun
shit-faced up there.
That
And the guy
was
that
Hilarious
he was
and
one of the dudes that made
cringeworthy.
A Way Out.
Can't help but agree with him.
He was trashing loot boxes and stuff too.
I
Again.
agree with that too.
As EA gave
Well,
him money to develop his
yeah,
game,
he was trashed.
he was gone. And Jeff kind of took that back over. But I think overall that was really the only bad thing.
We're gonna see Cyberpunk this year, so
Yeah, I hope so.
nothing
think so?
else is gonna matter.
Well, did you see his
And Mortal Kombat, don't forget.
message? Oh,
hashtag Cyber Monday.
It's coming, man. It's going to happen. Mortal Kombat.
Oh,
Hashtag Cyber Monday.
Hashtag.
I was on that
Finish
all
it.
day.
You were just staring at it, couldn't stop.
That's it.
well, that's probably release date next year. Cyber
Ooh.
Monday.
no,
That would be great.
I don't think so.
I think so.
I think
I don't understand the
It's definitely a
connotations behind the
2019
tweet
game.
otherwise.
Yeah, it's
I
coming out this gen.
I don't think so.
That's
If
just
if it is, it's going to be coming out Christmas next year.
I mean, to be fair,
I mean,
it's
November 26th
Yeah, so
is
I mean,
pretty.
I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be close to that time.
Because
Yeah.
if they're going to do I think they were going to be preparing for next gen. It'd be like one of the last things on the next gen. So I think
Easily ported over.
Oh
Let me take a look at the calendar for next year.
I can't see what they do next, honestly. Like, what do they top Cyberpunk with?
Witcher.
Well, they already top. You see Siri taking the main role, you thinking?
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
I think so. Let's move on in some other news. Big news story last week, I thought. One of my top news stories was Jump Force adding another manga and anime property to its character roster. This time you get classic samurai character Kenshin Himura from Rurouni Kenshin.
Oh,
Well done.
I'm so excited about that. Now I
Cheers.
actually want to play the game.
And you get the antagonist
Oh, yeah.
Shishio Makoto.
Bleach.
isn't he the
No,
flaming swordsman, the guy with the oiled, the
Yes.
old
Yep.
blade?
The bandage guy.
Okay,
It's been so long since I've read it.
Is he the antagonist or the protagonist?
Antagonist.
Protagonist is Kenshin.
Kenshin.
Yeah.
They should have a couple different protagonists, though. There's a couple ones that I'd love
They
to see.
need to have.
Rukia. Sorry, that's the wrong
Ruki
one.
is in there. What are you talking about?
Yeah, they shouldn't have Rukia.
No, they shouldn't
someone
have. They should have
better.
Kenpachi.
100% agree. Or Ginsen or Izo.
I saw something today that more characters are to be announced, and there was an image of Gara.
Oh
my God,
Don't.
that'd be
don't.
They should really have
That'd be sick.
Saito.
Oh my god,
Had to
Garo
be
was my
Saito.
favorite, and then they just did nothing with his character.
Yeah,
his
so
character arc was so good.
Gara
He just
may be
became-
coming
He's
after.
He's
like
a Kage.
Yeah, but
Yeah, he is.
No, sorry, it's Boruto.
Oh no,
He's
no,
like-
no,
no.
Let's go back to Kenshin for a moment because I was very excited that these characters were announced. However, the internet is ablaze that these characters were announced because last year, apparently, the series creator was caught having child pornography,
Yeah, I heard about that.
and he did not get arrested. He was fined,
Yikes!
which I think was the equivalent of $2,000.
Oh my!
And so there is outrage that his properties are
Right.
now going into a video game that he's going to make a lot of money on. And people are calling for the game to be removed from sale.
I mean, that won't happen, but
Cut the characters,
yeah,
possibly. I
Kenshin
could get
might
behind that.
Not be in the game.
Personally, I don't want the characters cut because,
Well, it's like your favorite manga,
well, no, it's just they're really, really good characters.
right?
It's
They're
unfortunate
beloved
that
characters.
they're beloved. If there were a way where he didn't capitalize, I'd prefer that. But honestly, I want the characters in the game.
Because really, we don't know how their legal ownership
Wow.
structure is
Yeah.
for his properties.
I was on the fence about getting this game the whole time until these characters were revealed. I'm getting it now.
Right.
If they remove them, there goes my purchase too. So,
See,
no, I
it's
do
hard
not
because
support child
right,
pornography,
obviously,
but
but
I do support these characters.
right, exactly, which makes it very difficult because it's unfortunate that a guy like this was able to create something that like Kenshin, which is like you said, beloved, and he's that type of human being.
I mean, we make excuses for a lot of people in a lot of
Yeah.
capacities all across the board. Entertainment, sports, all kinds of stuff. So we all have to make that individual decision of
Yeah,
where we want our principles to lie.
I think you kind of have to separate it because it's a shonen property, which is why it's in the game. So I don't know if he will be seeing so
Well,
much
he's-
of a
He's
royal.
gonna
He's
see
still-
money. It's
Yeah, he's
the
still
creator
writing.
of the
He's still
character.
writing stuff.
Oh, I didn't know
So-
Kenshin was still going.
No, he made other stuff.
Kenshin's
Oh,
done.
he's still-
Kenshin's been
Right.
done for
Got
like 20
you.
years. And that's the thing, is like this is an older property. Shonen owns it or
Right.
owns the rights to it. So ultimately it's on them. I'm assuming he'll still get royalties out of it,
Right.
much like any creative owner, but we don't really know.
Right.
Because if he had sold the whole property,
He wouldn't
Then
have
he
any
wouldn't get any-
interest in it.
Right. I don't know. Either way, I'm really pumped for these characters. I'm going to keep the politics out of it.
Yeah.
Let's have the game with as many characters as we can possibly have. And if you're that much against it, then I guess you're not going to get the game.
That's
Any other
yeah,
thoughts
it's
on
really
that?
that's what it comes down to. It's personal choice and what you're gonna decide to do. But back to the game, I actually would expect, like you said, you wanted to see more protagonists or antagonists. I would actually expect to see more of them from this, because the way they'd been doing it, the way they're releasing characters is like you saw with Luffy from One Piece. They released a few of him, but then they had all these other characters that came in afterwards.
I think they're up to like 6 now from One Piece.
From One Piece,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Well, One Piece is like huge. For
One
them.
Piece is
right up there with
ridiculous,
Bleach,
man.
though.
Sound like
but-
No,
episode
One Piece
800.
is way higher than Bleach.
Yeah.
Huge.
Like Bleach
It
got
was
canceled.
like Naruto level.
Yeah,
Yeah,
oh,
it
yeah.
is.
Bleach should have
One Piece
stopped.
is massive.
They just kept going and going with Bleach. They
Well,
should
There
have
was
just
so
The
much
main
filler.
the
brought
main
it
issue
to an
is,
end.
yeah,
Is what
the
they
main-
should have done.
The main issue is that they always caught up to the manga, and then they created their own filler arcs, and the rating
We're not
suffered.
good.
And
No, the rating
Kubo's
suffered.
really a troll.
Yeah, total.
He definitely was.
100%.
All right, let's move on to some other news. This is positive. The Kingdom Hearts has gone gold.
Yay!
They're done.
Gold, for those that, if you don't know what that means they've wrapped up production.
Oh,
and
okay.
they've printed
They're done.
the gold edition of the disc, which is
What everything?
What
what
copied
all
from.
of the copies get made
Scanned
from.
from, right?
And that game launches on January 29th.
Yay!
It is finished.
It's unfortunate that I'll only have 16 days to play it.
Only?
Anthem comes out the 15th of February.
It's 20. Oh yeah, you get a week early for EA access. That's right.
Well,
Or pre-orders. Pre-orders get a
I
week
guess
early,
you're just
too.
going to be calling in sick and just gaming
I
nonstop.
guess so.
You do look sick now. You might as well just.
Right. Just might as well start.
Start with Kingdom Hearts and work your way through the whole series.
Do you know what's really positive about this announcement that's separate from Kingdom Hearts? Is that Mr. Nomura now
It's
is
free.
making Final Fantasy VII.
I feel like it's canned again.
I can't hear
No.
you over
Stop.
This is his now.
the amount of hope that you have.
I know,
I'm
it's
surprised
so
how it has
high.
not been crushed.
Listen,
For such a
Again, I'm a Bills
pessimistic
fan.
person
I know,
in
for
every
real.
other regard, it's quite shocking. I will say.
Who's this pessimistic person? What are you talking about?
Every time I get hype about Anthem, you're like, look.
No,
I'm
it's
gonna-
it's
I'm gonna-
not
No,
Right.
he's just
pessimism.
rein me back
just toning
in.
it down.
I'm just trying to comfort you.
when the fall
Preemptively.
happens.
If he said
Preemptive comfort.
this, coming from a Bills fan perspective, if you
Yikes.
set your
What?
bar
Your team
really
won.
low, then you won't be disappointed when they exceed your expectations. If you set your bar super friggin' high, then when the game inevitably doesn't quite measure up to where you're out in the outer stratosphere, you're going to be upset. You're going to be mad at your game.
That's why you're just happy to go to the Super Bowl 4
Anthem's
times.
gonna be
Exactly.
so upset when she listens to this. She's a
In a
Jags
row.
fan.
The comment you made there,
And
was
lose.
she supposed to be excited that her
Her
team had
team.
just got their 4th win?
I mean, my team just got their 5th, and they won the Super Bowl last year.
Mine just
so-
got their 4th too.
So,
Yikes! We all
Poor
are
John out
fans
there.
of
His
that.
team
We're
didn't-
not Giants
I
fans.
mean, I'm
at the very least.
as a pessimist for Final Fantasy VII, I'm going to say this right now. You're not going to see that in the near future.
no.
PS5 launch title?
Guaranteed, absolutely not.
Probably end cycle
No?
of PS5.
No,
Oh my
no,
God!
no.
There's so
No.
much.
End cycle. That's like
There's so
4
much.
years.
let's
5
put this in
years.
perspective.
Listen.
The guy who was pushing to make Kingdom Hearts 3 took 20,000 years,
20,000.
approximately.
Yeah, rounding down. Actually,
Yeah, it took so many years for him to make this game and
you
make it.
say that, but it wasn't that many.
It was quite a
Listen,
few
does
years.
it
Let
have
me
the
go
quality?
ahead and look it up.
No,
for you.
listen, but their last they released games in between.
No,
that were
Kingdom Hearts 2.5 was 2012.
Yeah, that's 6
That was
years
6
ago.
years ago.
That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's
It
not even
wasn't a
Kingdom
new
Hearts
game.
2. It's just added games that they had beforehand. Like it's
Yeah, I know, but they're releasing something.
It's been like 15 years since the last one. It's been a
Let me
long
go ahead
time.
and
It's
do
not
this for
going
you.
to be
Kingdom Hearts
more than 5 years until
2.
7 releases.
You would think they have. That was such a good.
That was really good.
Well done.
It's one of your better noises I've heard.
But
So let's do this right now.
terrifying sentence.
I just
Well,
looked around because
stand
I didn't
by
know
it.
if I was going to get slimed right there.
So March 28th, we're doing the American release, not Japanese. March 28th, 2006 is when
Oh my
Kingdom
God,
Hearts
was it really
2.
that long
So that was
ago?
12 years ago.
12
Well,
years
13
ago.
technically, when it
my
released.
You're right. 13 when it
So
releases.
if it took him 12 years to make one game, and we're talking
Yeah, but
the
closer
actual
to
how long
13.
Final Fantasy VII has already been.
So
Right.
again,
No, but it got
1998.
but it got
No.
scrapped.
Yeah,
so
dude,
again,
that's-
I will
So
throw
it's
that
starting
out there.
over.
N-Cycle PS5.
I know
No.
it's still.
I'm gonna say
starting over,
PS6.
but-
No, you guys are
My.
insane.
Actually, PS6
I mean,
isn't
I'll
going to come.
wait.
It's gonna be a launch
I will wait
title.
for it.
I
As
like-
long as I'm
I'm not
alive, I'll
going
wait
to.
for it.
You see, for me, I already feel angry at it. Like if I play it now,
No way it's
already tilted.
I am a
while
very
playing.
patient woman. I
no
will
way
wait
it's a
for that.
launch title because
think so.
PS5 will be out by 2020. So
I will personally
Probably
buy. I will buy a
2022
camera
is when I
and
see
Twitch
it
the whole entire
realistically
thing so
coming
people
out.
can see my angry
it's a
reaction the
launch title.
whole entire time. Just strictly just looking at my
What
this,
else
just,
do they have right now that would be like a solid launch title?
right?
The games that we've been
Ghost of
looking at.
Tsushima,
I know
Death
those ones,
Stranding.
but I
I know.
mean,
What are you talking
I mean,
about?
The Last of Us
from this
Chapter 2.
developer. What do they have?
Square Enix?
Yeah.
They
Alright.
do
Well,
like
they have
46
a-
games.
What do they have in
Yeah, they
production
don't-
other than
I don't know,
7?
they'll probably-
They have a
they'll probably
AAA
have another
title by
year.
Luminous
title.
Studios.
Yep.
It's
Last
being
Hope.
worked on.
Unannounced.
Or last
Last
idea.
Last idea. Possibly.
That's
it's
not
unannounced.
been announced.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's trademarked though.
Yeah,
We
well,
know.
people trademark
Our
things
work.
all the time.
Yeah, facts. It's just so nobody else can touch
Finger
it.
guns.
That could be
Apple.
that could come out 20 years from now. We have no idea.
I mean,
that's the game. They're
At
working
least
on.
it'll come out
In
before
my
Final
opinion.
Fantasy VII. At least that's what you just said.
Yikes.
Straight savage. over
Anyway,
there.
Mr. Nomura already said that Final Fantasy VII's production is well on
Yeah,
schedule.
he said that.
They've already been working on it, and
Which
they're
was
actually
my
working
point.
on
2020.
separate.
One day a week.
They're also working on separate tie-in titles to go along with this.
So did he
Oh,
also?
good.
Oh, so he's Kingdom Heartsing it. That's what he's doing. So he's
And you know what?
it's think
Final
more.
All
Fantasy
of us suckers who grew
7.5.
up with it are going to
No.
be buying it the whole way.
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah,
I'm listening
okay.
to-
Yeah, okay.
He says while not.
Jake is in the minority,
So
and he
much
believes
happening.
Final Fantasy VII story is atrocious.
I absolutely. After playing it like
I've
50,000
met
times.
He said there were
a
multiple
so
lot
many
of
people.
plot
And, you know,
holes. He said.
So what?
Every story has plot.
I'm
holes.
going to enjoy
Okay, there's
it
a
may-
limit to how many
it
plot
may-
holes you can,
It may be
can explain
they'll
away.
address some of the stuff
Well-
because they'll have a more
It's possible.
Yeah,
You
they'll-
see, I
they're gonna
agree with you.
fine-tune it, hopefully.
I agree with
more
that.
Seven was
100%.
expanded because I'm going to stay away from the
Sephiroth
R
one, right?
word.
Yes.
Cloud,
More
and Baron,
expanded
Sephiroth.
world.
So I agree with you. Like I actually do because it's been 20 years. So I mean,
God has
Isn't his mother
Yes.
like an
That was my
angel,
whole
or an alien
lifetime.
or something?
not Cloud. Sephiroth's mom is
Sephiroth.
actually
Let's
is
not-
actually a
let's
female
not
named
go into the
Lucrezia.
story, please.
Actually, Lucretia, if you really want to actually say it correctly, but that's not important.
Anyway.
So I agree with you.
There's
I
no way
agree
you're
that most of
figuring
those
out
plot
that
holes will
story.
probably be filled out much more fine tuned and actually brilliant in comparison to what it was before.
I'm really hoping we get a little bit more background on the war in Wutai.
Oh. Oh, you mean the like materia wars, basically the ones where
Yeah.
they were like fighting for materia?
You're
Yeah.
saying
I
words. I
really
don't
doubt
understand.
you're going to get these things. You're
Why not?
But-
that would be because they talked about it. They only had a certain amount of space in the game itself.
And she did say tie-ins. Well, you
Yeah.
said tie-ins, so
Yes, I did.
that means you're probably going to get much more history enriched storylines.
I'm
Lore?
feeling like this is like
Some lore.
seven.
Some
The initial
lore, that's the
seven.
word.
The initial 7 was like the blueprint for all the stuff that they can develop.
And
So
they made so many bad games. Like the Dirge of Cerberus one was garbage,
Yes,
never
it
played
was.
it.
and then the Crisis Core was pretty nice, but the storyline itself was garbage. So I mean, they made a lot of junk for a really good title.
Jake
But
loves
people
these series
still
too.
Yeah.
want to play those.
But the film
because
was
They
nice.
love it so much.
Well, yeah, because people when
that was
I
that
mean,
was a touchstone
Final Fantasy
game
15
that was
Chibi's edition was pretty cool.
oh
I'm
my
just saying.
god, the Pocket
that-
Edition,
that
I'm going to
upsets
buy
me.
that so fast.
So let me. May I say
no.
what I believe
Absolutely
the
not.
tie-ins are going to be? I think they're going to be similar to The King's Tale.
So Wutai, you're going to
Yeah.
see a Wutai story,
So,
and you're going to see
like I was saying, like the blueprint, and then each different section of the game that you spend time in, you're gonna have a more developed.
Just use the word robust.
I am
It's
not using
there.
that.
I can see
Nope.
it.
She wants to use
I
it.
know
Nope.
she does.
So I
you're,
think
you're gonna have a greater development in each of those sections.
I think that's the way to go if they're going to build another Final Fantasy VII. Because
Well, they're building it. That's
you're
not,
gonna-
it's not an if.
If I'm
I would,
sorry,
I would
it's
on
spend,
schedule.
I would
If
spend
it
60
finishes.
hours,
ever.
60 hours or whatever, playing in Wutai or in the ancient forest.
No,
Or
you're not definitely
here's
not
what I
doing
hope.
that.
60
I-
hours.
60 hours in one section.
You are not
I
doing that.
would.
Happening.
So I hope this
You
is
might.
this is my hopes and dreams of this. I hope that they take back the idea that they had initially, which I haven't checked on.
Episodic?
The episodic. I hope that goes away.
I think it is.
I think they finish the actual story and then they build a season's pass where you have, just like Final Fantasy 15, where it's episodes of characters and stories of the world around you.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I mean, that would be the perfect.
I don't see why they'd go away from that. That's
That's a good formula.
Now that they see it works,
yeah, it
that
works
would be
well
a better
for them.
way.
don't
I
understand
mean,
why they
they're
would.
still going to release Arden 2 years after the release of the game,
Right.
and it's going to sell well,
And exactly.
Yeah. So
which
I mean,
is unheard of. Season pass things don't
Stick.
exist this long.
but I'm only putting in that hypothesis because we already know Final Fantasy VII's never coming out.
You or something else.
Theoretical.
Yes.
One day my Bills win the Super Bowl.
No. Well,
Don't put
They
those-
might go to
7
6
will
or
come out
7
first.
back to back and then lose them all. So that's always a possibility.
I didn't say.
Or maybe they'll do the
There
same
you
thing
go.
that they've been doing every year. They'll get your hopes up. They're like, yeah, look at this Final Fantasy thing, and then oh no.
Listen,
You
they
saw it
didn't
already.
talk about it for like 6 years.
So what are you gonna do when at E3 next year they have this huge gameplay trailer with a date?
Well,
If I do
With the
that,
I'm
release
gonna
date.
flip the table over.
if I do that, I will personally apologize to every single person
And you'll buy it for
in
everyone
the
in this room.
podcast
And you'll buy it
here.
for everybody in this
I
And
will-
y'all can send me the
No, no, no.
Twitters, the
No, 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 no.
tweets on how bad
no,
it
no,
was.
no,
I'll
no, no.
apologize to every single one of you.
I mean, there's only 4 of us here,
That
so
is not going to cut it
You're gonna buy it.
because you have already said previously that you will buy us all the collector's edition.
I have
When
Did I
it
say that?
released. Come out
You
of your
did say
mouth
that.
before.
Did.
So you better start saving up, pal, because it's coming out. Mr. Nomura says it's right on schedule,
Okay.
so you need to get
He
that
didn't
wallet.
define
If it
what
doesn't
the
come
schedule
out,
was.
I'm gonna say 2020. If it doesn't come out by then,
2022.
No.
no.
2020
None of
2022.
that. None of that, because that's 2 years.
That's when I said it was
That's 3
happening.
years.
So
Yeah, we're
Well, you
long
gotta
time.
get it. I don't want it to come out with the brand.
It's not
going to
be a
next
launch
gen.
title.
I think
It's
it will
not
be.
going to be anything.
I want it to be
It's
well
gonna come
developed,
out
and I want them to be comfortable.
2
with
years
the new
into
stuff.
the cycle, like Brennan said, 2
Man.
years into the cycle,
I just said
and
I
that's
can hear the
when-
Final Fantasy
well, he
VII
said it
music right
first.
now.
I said it.
Being
Okay.
shattered and broken.
How about this? If it doesn't come out by 21, I'll give you 21. I'll
How
buy
generous.
you 2 collector's editions of whatever game.
I'm not taking that. I'm still
Oh, it
getting
doesn't say
mine
What? Yeah.
I'll get it. I have that much faith that it comes out.
I ain't helping
You're-
you with
woof.
that. That is
By
a terrible
21.
You should.
I think it's a launch title.
Privately say what the financial terms of that because he can
please,
pick
silence at the table. Is this bet on?
Yeah.
No.
the.
Oh.
I will not-
handshake,
But here's the agreement here. I'm not going to buy you guys the collector's
No.
editions.
This bet is. Just
I will buy
between you
everyone
two.
the game.
No, listen. This
Oh.
bet is between the two of you.
Do we spit on it?
No,
No, don't
No,
do
spit.
that.
do that.
The bet
bodily
is
fluids.
if the game comes out by the end of 2021,
2 collector's editions. Either one of
you
us.
owe him the collector's edition.
Of
If it does
whatever.
not come out, he will buy you 2 collector's editions of the games you choose.
Perfect.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah.
Agony Collector's Edition. And
Call of Cthulhu. It's got 7 hours
As long
of
as it's not
content.
something like the
The
$6,000
deal
jacket.
has been struck for you audio listeners. It has been made.
There was a shake
The blood
that happened.
Yep, there was a shake. It was witnessed.
I
to be
spit on
fair,
it,
we're
but he
still
didn't know.
waiting on the walkthroughs we're supposed to have. So
Oh, right.
They're not the same. I didn't shake their hands.
these promises, we'll see
I
what
thought they
happens
were
with them.
guides. Weren't they
I
guides?
think they were guides.
Yeah, they were
To be,
guides.
I don't have a good memory. I'm 30 years old. It's never. I'm not going to
Oh,
remember
you
it.
poor guy.
It'd be 32.
Be
by
dust
then.
by then.
Yep.
so.
Jesus.
All right, I think we're at our final piece of news for the day, and this coincides with our first main feature. Pokemon Let's Go sells 3 million units
Ayo.
in its first week.
My nephews are getting that for Christmas.
Hey, oh, it's less than Red Dead, so nobody cares. Move
It's
on.
an
That's an
Nintendo
incredible number, man.
exclusive.
That's an incredible number. Nothing can be judged on Red Dead.
Cyberpunk 2077
Switches.
will be.
Switches
stop it.
It'll
total
outsell it.
have 20 million.
Call
so
it
that means
now.
like a fifth of the people that own a Switch bought this
That
game.
was bad math.
That's
Like
great.
a sixth, seventh,
I said
close
like
to.
a
Like he was close.
That's great for the Switch. I'm a very
That's a-
big fan
yeah,
of them
that's-
since
that's
I bought
awesome.
Dead Cells. So
So let's go ahead and start with our first main feature, which is Pokemon Let's Go. This is our review discussion of the game. We're going to dedicate 15 minutes
Oh, God.
to this review. Brett's review
better
begins now.
take a breath. So I
have
don't
you caught
don't
Mewtwo
have
yet?
to- No, that's for the video. I'll be catching Mewtwo and fighting the Pikachu Master Trainer for a video for YouTube.
It's awesome.
Should do that
Can't
actually
wait to see
on
that.
Twitch.
It might be because December 2nd is our stream, so that might
It
be
is.
on
It could
Twitch.
happen on the stream.
Yes, it might happen on stream.
So definitely
Magical.
make sure you tune in because we're raising money for charity.
Yeah. So I beat it, basically. So with the game, there's a post game where all of the master trainers for every single Pokemon in the game release.
Oh, that doesn't happen until post game.
Post game.
Whoa.
Yes. So the one that I fought, there's a few little glitches. I fought one beforehand. I don't think I was supposed to, because at the end of the game it tells you that you are now free to fight them. And then you remember the video I sent you where I was flying way up high above everybody on Charizard?
Yeah.
You're not supposed to do that till the end of the game.
Oh.
So I don't know if it's just that area it was glitched out where I was doing that or what. But
Wait,
yeah.
Well, what does he do?
So-
He just kind of just like
So he
hovers?
flies on the ground regularly, like down where like Pokemon trainers can see you and stuff. But
Yeah.
afterwards, once you're champion, you can't be bothered with all the plebes on the ground. So you fly over them wherever you want to go, so that you don't have to bother with fighting people.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's very cool. But I did it beforehand, and I don't know if I was supposed to.
Probably not.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway. Other than that, the game was super fun. I actually love that you can see the Pokemon before you fight them because in the old games that was so annoying to constantly use repels in caves to not run into Zubats. It is much easier than the old games. I beat the entire Elite Four with 2 Pokemon. I used my Pikachu and my Mew and beat the entire Elite Four, and they were only level 60 at the time.
Is there a difficulty setting?
No.
No, it just scales with you.
Yes. I don't know if the Elite Four scale, because I beat them all. Their Pokemon were all level 55 or lower, which is very low in comparison because usually in the older games you were fighting like level 70s.
What
I
were you?
think so, yeah.
Where were you at?
I was level 62. My Pikachu rolled through everybody.
Oh,
Really? It was easy.
The old games, you ended up with
With
one
that
hyper potion
zippy
and
zap.
half a
Yeah,
Pokemon.
you used to have
left.
to fight so hard in the old games. This was not anything like that.
You just steamrolled them.
Yeah.
So are you
Zippy zap.
disappointed in that?
Well, for me, I used to get I can tilt during games. I don't want to tilt during Pokemon, so I enjoyed it because that's not the end of the game for you. You have a lot of other stuff, and the Pokemon Master Trainers, those ones are kind of that's where you see your real hard. Like the Pikachu is level 75, and this is directly after the Elite Four that they open up. So you go right from fighting the Elite Four into the open world, and the Pokemon Masters, like I fought the Pidgey one and I just got destroyed by this level 80 Pidgey, and I was
That's
like,
fantastic.
why is this level 80? I don't
So-
understand.
Is it true that every Pokemon has a master?
Yes, all 150.
So there's
Pokemon.
still a lot
So
to do there.
Mewtwo?
So there's
Oh,
a
master?
Mewtwo Master?
Yes.
What is that?
Yeah, really.
Well, in the game, so you catch Moltres, Articuno, Zapdos, all that, but then you can also randomly run into a Moltres on Route 2, which is you walk out of Pallet Town and there can be a Moltres there. So a lot of it is RNG, like we discussed on the last podcast, where in this world, this is a Pokemon world. They exist outside of your realm, basically. So you can run into these Pokemon separately. Mewtwo is still in Cerulean Cave. After I catch him, I might be able to run into one randomly.
What happened to the first time you tried to catch him?
No, we're not going to talk about it. I went from the Elite Four right to try to catch Mewtwo, and he destroyed my entire team. He didn't use a different move the whole time. He's level 70 as well.
Oh,
He destroyed me. I was like, wow. Because after rolling through the Elite Four, I was like, well, this is probably just as easy, and I was wrong. And then I fought the Pidgey Master, and I was like, well, this is not easy. I'm
you
getting
got rolled there
destroyed.
too.
Yeah.
So what else about the game do you like?
The Mega Evolutions, those are very, very cool. It's cool to see them in 3D on a TV even.
Did you finally play in docked mode?
Yep.
How did it feel?
It's same as handheld. It's beautiful. It's very colorful game. It's really enjoyable. It's obviously not 4K, but even at 30 FPS which is what the Switch is currently maxed out at. It's very pretty. Had no issues, no glitching, no clipping, anything like that.
What did you find yourself playing in the most, docked or undocked?
Undocked, just because it is so easy. You can go do whatever, lay in bed, play. It doesn't matter.
What are we
And-
calling that? Are we calling it undocked? Are we calling it handheld?
Handheld.
mode?
Call
What
it
are we calling
handheld.
Handheld,
Handheld
I think,
Like
yeah.
a normal human being.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's
Undocked.
just which is why this is actually my favorite console is because the capability of that. I don't have to sit
Move.
and play it, and if I do have to move, I can take it with me. Honestly, as a whole, the game is just really fun. I don't think it's far from the old Pokemon games, so I don't see why, if you're a Pokemon purist, why you still want to buy this game, basically.
Right.
Even if you're a purist, even if you think, well, the catch system's different and the battles are different, whatever. I understand where those people are coming from, but the game itself is Pokemon. It's still a ton of fun. The story's different. The Team Rocket is Jesse and James and Meowth, and it takes
should
you
be.
and it takes you
Team
into that
Steam.
nostalgia factor as well. It's a really good game. I honestly had a ton of fun playing it. Like I said, it is a lot easier. It's a little bit. Nintendo is a family friendly, so I'm 24. It's not going to be. It's easy to figure out. The puzzles actually were the biggest thing I noticed was easy. Because in the old games, I used to tilt so hard in the ice gym trying to figure out which path that slipped me into the
Ice
gym leader.
Cave, too.
It was so annoying.
Well, like they said, this was a more streamlined
Right.
experience. The full.
So the puzzles were fairly easy to figure out, but that's for me as well. So on like a 13-year-old, I don't know if they figured these puzzles out this easily.
I would imagine they do.
Probably, yeah, I do.
You're about at that
13
level.
level.
You're about
13-year-old
right
level.
there. Yeah.
I personally am still waiting for the full Pokemon game they're bringing next year.
That's
so.
coming.
Right.
Well, they
so,
are- they're
ready.
speaking of that next one, you think we're going to see that at the Game Awards?
No,
Absolutely
Probably not, but I would
No,
hope so.
nothing?
Smash
They'll
centric
do their
still
own- yeah,
until
you're
after
right, it is
Smash.
Smash.
It's
So-
everything.
They'll do
is
their own
Smash.
I
direct
have
for
a
that.
question
Smash is
because
out
I
the
haven't
day
played the
after, though.
Pokemon
It
game
is,
yet.
but they may do a surprise thing. Okay,
How,
so
how do you go about
maybe.
choosing your team that you play with?
So with the team, it's honestly, it's hard to pick because your Pokemon box is with you at all times.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want to be the cliche Ash. I had Venusaur, Blastoise, Charizard, Pikachu, the whole game. There were times where I was like, oh, let me get rid of these, and Rhyhorn is super fun to ride because he's so fast and you don't have to worry about it. And that is something that that impacts the game is like the Pokemon you ride, like you can ride Snorlax, but he's so slow and it takes you forever
But he
to
looks
get
funny.
places.
and the animation's comical.
Yeah, you hug his belly while he walks, and but he doesn't fit into places because he's big, so you can't
He's
like
Snorlax.
you can't walk places. He'll stop. Rhyhorn is just little and fast, so I was using that as like basically my sixth Pokemon was always just a
Traveling.
rideable Pokemon that I didn't care about really. But I was trying to like diversify at times, and I was like, oh well, let me put like I don't know Psyduck or something, and then I was like, nah, put Venusaur in there, put Blastoise. They have Mega Evolutions that the game gives you. You don't even have to find them.
Do you have Dragonite yet?
No, actually,
Really?
Go catch a Dragonite.
So that's another endgame thing that I wasn't aware of.
You can't get Dragonite until Endgame?
No, you can. However, you would have to evolve it afterwards. The rare Pokemon locations are then unlocked, basically.
So you can just go get a fully evolved Dragonite
Yeah.
rather than evolving Dragonite.
You can also ride Dragonite. He's another one of the rideable ones that can fly above everything. Dragonite, Aerodactyl, and Charizard.
Nice.
Did you catch Aerodactyl?
I did not catch Aerodactyl yet. I have about 50 Pokemon left that I haven't caught.
What are your dislikes?
I didn't. Oh, Safari Zone isn't in the game. They removed Safari Zone and put in the Pokemon Go Park, which I was not a fan of.
That'll be in the remake next year.
The reason for the Safari Zone
Just
not
saying.
being in the game is because all the Pokemon are in the world. But if you remember in the old game, Safari Zone used to have rare Pokemon that you didn't have to search everywhere to find them.
Right.
So I wanted, when I got to where the Safari Zone is, I think it's Fuchsia City. I was like, oh, I was hyped about it, and then I walked in and it's Pokemon Go Park, and it was like, here, connect to your Pokemon
And
Go
that's
to
where you
this,
can
and I was like,
bring 'em- transfer 'em in.
Golden
Yeah.
Rayquaza.
That is actually something that people have done. The odds for a shiny in the game are 1 in 4,096 to run into a shiny. If you catch combos up to 31, it triples your odds. So it's like, it works out to like
So if you catch
0.390% chance that you're running into a
if you
shiny
catch
Pokemon.
31 Pokemon in a row, it
Of the
triples
same,
your
the
chance.
same type of Pokemon.
Wow.
And
That's a lot of grind right there.
But you can get the legendaries. If you save, run into them, restart, save, run into them, restart, you can end up with a shiny legendary. So after 206 restarts, people have found that you can get shiny Mewtwo's, shiny Zapdos.
So
Articuno.
Brett will be doing this on live stream. When he catches that Mewtwo.
206
Yeah, he will.
restarts.
So you get about a minute, 10 seconds.
Give us your final thoughts.
Final thoughts and a score. A
First
grade, I should
TS.
say.
First
GG.
score, I'm going to give it an
Grade.
An A.
Yep, because it is very streamlined. Even though it does have post-game stuff that's very hard, I'd give it an A. And my final thoughts would just be, like I said, if you're a Pokemon purist and you weren't getting this game, I would definitely send you out there to get it. As Kevin said, it's got 3 million sold, so it's not doing badly. If you've been holding out, or if you haven't played it yet, definitely go grab it because it's a ton of fun. The musical score is good. It's just a good, colorful, vibrant game that you're not gonna have to sweat. You can enjoy it.
So you can pick it up and put it down.
Yeah, exactly.
So overall, it sounds like a fantastic game that any Switch owner should perhaps purchase and play, especially those who like Pokemon.
I agree.
I actually like Digimon more. Where are the Digimon games? Give me those.
Digimon never did as
They
well.
do
You're
have
never
a whole
gonna-
bunch.
you're never
They
gonna
have
get
they
that.
have a Cyber Sleuth game for PlayStation.
Now
but that's
the song
terrible.
is stuck in my head.
Now,
Digimon
Monster.
Digital monsters. Digimon are the champions.
Oh,
You tell me,
I
when you
stopped.
ultimate Digivolved your Digimon, you were hype.
anyway, thanks for your thoughts on that, Brett.
Thanks
I
for
appreciate it.
Pokemon.
Now we're going to go to our other feature, which is the other side of the spectrum, and this is Fallout 76. And the question is Fallout 76 really that bad?
I'm actually going to start here with this. I'm going to give you my grade. This is the first time in TSGG history we have a bargain bin game.
This will be the first bargain bin
Yikes.
grade.
double yikes!
I have some thoughts. I played the game for about 7 hours, and this is what I came away with. Are you ready?
Ready?
What did you accomplish? Can we get that?
He's level 6. Shut up, jerk.
Nothing.
This game is glitchy and jagged. Third person is so janky, it's unplayable.
Your spring boots when you jump.
Run
First
down some
person,
stairs in third person mode. That's fun.
first person
That's trippy.
is smoother, but it's still janky as well. During my playthrough, items lagged out on me, so I couldn't pick anything up. I had to restart the game in order to pick things up again. So that was unfortunate.
I was there for that. That was not pretty.
I first discovered that when I was trying to pick plants and they wouldn't move. It was making the noise, but nothing would happen. Then I
Oh.
killed a couple of robots, and they had items, and I couldn't loot them either. So I had to restart the game, and then I could begin doing that again, which is awful. The food and water meters are annoying as hell. I understand like where they were trying to go with that, and in a survival game that makes sense, but the rate that they burn is atrocious. They will probably adjust that.
They did this well in Fallout New Vegas. Why not just use the same system they had then?
Right. Maybe they
You
can't.
needed food, thirst, and sleep.
You got to remember who made that one.
Yeah, I know. Obsidian.
Yeah, they
The
may
champions.
not. They may not be able to use these things.
It's possible.
But they had the idea of it, and they tried to replicate it, and
Not well.
you can definitely see that in a patch that's going to be adjusted. It's just going to happen.
Well, we sat there for about 2 minutes on the
Let
pause
Kevin
screen
finish his,
and watched as your food
As I was
dropped.
telling you about it, it happened on screen. A quarter of it just disappeared.
It was not good.
About every 10, 15 minutes
Not
of actual
even like
time.
a gas gauge where it gradually goes. It
No,
was
it
just a
just dawned.
chunk.
No, chunks just go. That's what I mean. Like every 10, 15 minutes.
Just get
Chunks
random
just
rooms
go.
really, really
insane
hungry.
when you
It
think
is.
about it, because who eats that often?
You don't.
I mean, I can
You
imagine
don't.
realistically,
You
if
don't.
it's once every 4 hours,
Right,
you need
which is what
need
you'd
food or drink.
expect.
But just as for watching it on screen, it was just like you're not even doing anything.
was
Like
mind-blowing.
it just all of a sudden like bam, quarter of it's gone.
Which means it's coded in as a timer, and that's just not okay.
Yeah. What else do I have to say about this? The menus themselves are clunky and they are laggy.
Hey,
They have, in order to craft.
The menu
when
is
you-
the best part of that game.
No, the map.
map.
The map is the
That's
best
what he's
part.
talking about.
No, I was talking about the menu. I'm a big fan of the Fallout menus. I
Oh, the
have been.
Pip Boy.
I like the Pip-Boy
Boy.
too,
Oh,
but it
yeah.
just doesn't.
It is super
feel right.
laggy.
It doesn't feel right
I'll
this
give you
time. I think it's all because of the way
Well,
that
he
it's
doesn't
online.
put his hand up either to like look at his Pip-Boy.
Oh no,
It just
no,
kinda
I
pops
turned
up.
that off. I turned that off. You can change that to be looking at the Pip-Boy screen or
Oh, you can?
being digital like that. I chose the digital one because it's different, so I like the overlay.
Gotcha.
But you can change that, and like just similar how you can change first person and third person, which you should never do.
Take a breath.
What else? Yeah, so inside the crafting, there's no option to equip from inside crafting. You have to go out and equip your items, and then go back in and craft. And so,
Wait. So in 4, when you went to craft, it had like a list of your weapons in your inventory.
Yeah.
It's only the equipped weapon now?
No. Like, say you
Once
have
you're
the
done
list,
building,
right? And then you have the recipe to make, say I'm wearing a chest piece, and I made a better chest piece.
Super chest
I
piece.
can't equip it when I make it. I have to go out and
Right.
then go in
That's the
and
same
equip
from
it.
4. I'm not really
Quadruple.
shocked
Yeah,
by
but you'd
that.
expect a change.
But I'm looking
It's
for
not supposed to be the
every
same.
No,
release.
there's no
supposed to get
advancement
better.
in this game from
Right,
the
that's-
last title.
It should be
That's-
I'm
streamlined.
sure that's
and-
Kevin's
That's what I'm
ending
getting.
here,
That's what I'm
but-
getting to. The controls are clunky and they're dated. The super repetition in game events are awful.
The
And
combat
they're
is just
The respawning.
fucking
from what I've seen
ugly.
is
It's
horrendous.
not good.
It's so bad. I don't know how they went backwards with combat,
The
but they
in-game
did it.
events are tedious. Their only story here is to
You can
set
call
up
it that.
that the world is open and it's a wasteland for you to build on and explore in and do these in-game events and team up with your people and build towns and stuff.
Except everything you build disappears in 2 hours. So.
Right. Like there's no
What's the point?
sense of accomplishment to be had here.
Hold
No,
on.
Well,
no
I mean, the
permanence.
quest here is to find this person. You don't even need to find this person
No,
because
you
you
don't-
know they're dead.
No,
You
it's
find
not a
them, you're going to
quest.
listen
It's
to a
not-
holotape.
It's not a storyline.
That's
though.
what
It's
it
just,
is.
It's just notes from people that
Are dead.
are out there and dead. It's not. You're not ever going to have closure because this is not a game of closure. It's super repetitive and it's tedious.
The fact that they have no
Nothing-
NPCs builds.
No, really, it was such a bad
You
decision.
don't connect to the
yeah,
game at all.
awful. Nothing was done in this game to push this series forward.
Did you ever play Elder Scrolls Online? You did, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did. Elder Scrolls is way superior to this.
100%.
Huh.
100 times better.
Yeah.
I don't
Elder
even
Scrolls-
like ESO that much,
Elder
by the way.
Scrolls had a direction that they wanted to go in,
You would think.
and that is why it.
That they would have made it like that.
Yeah.
Is that what you're getting at?
Well,
Yeah.
it was.
They already
made-
had a blueprint. They should have just followed it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
they
you'd
didn't,
think
though.
that.
because that game was made by ZeniMax, not
weird.
in-house.
Well, I like.
It's almost
I
like
like
the
the
people they
concept
partner
of feeling
with
like
make better games.
that
Hmm.
if you actually did just leave a vault and you have no understanding of what's going on in the world, you wouldn't really have any direction. But like with Fallout 4, you went over, you ran into people, you did stuff.
Right.
Then you made a base and then you continue to do stuff. I don't understand why in this one they just make it so that everything disappears, the slate gets wiped clean. Like there's no point. There is no point to anything in this game.
Right.
There's no connection with the characters. Yeah, you listen to a holotape, but like there's no point.
And to put that in perspective, like Fallout 3. So vaults were built in like the most secure regions, safe, hidden, which happens to be a lot of places where towns are built. So in Fallout 3, you left the vault, there was a town maybe a good mile away, Megaton.
Yeah.
So you immediately launched in the story. There were like 46 NPCs in that town alone. I just don't understand the decision making that led to this
No,
when
me
you
either.
had that background to go to.
Well,
Yeah.
the worst thing for me is the way that it was hyped by Todd Howard. So when it was discussed and announced, everybody was like we were hyped about it. We were looking forward
I
to
was
this
But there
game.
was a
excited.
clear divide too.
No, we're
just
gonna
to
talk.
bring
We're
that
gonna
up.
talk about that in a moment. Let me get through this first, but I do have a question for you because you know more, Brennan, about the Fallout lore than I do. But I thought this was kind of odd. Very early in the game, when you're discovering these holotapes of these NPCs that you'll never meet, I came across one, and there are notes that you can find, and they were talking about the Brotherhood of Steel, and I thought that was a little too soon,
I'll flip this table over right now.
especially
Not
because
too
you
soon.
are the first ones out.
Someone better
Like,
hold
No,
on.
it's
how-
too soon. Okay, so
How can the Brotherhood already exist and be?
You have
So,
opened a can of worms.
this is 25
Will
years after the
never
bombs fell.
close.
So we know this is the earliest people. Now, it's very possible because the Brotherhood of Steel did start on the West Coast near California. It's very possible they came out beforehand, or they were even in bunkers living before that. That's why they have the Brotherhood of Steel bunkers. These people essentially lived in what were vaults, but military-based instead of
Vault-Tec.
politicians and important people got into the vaults.
Right, yeah.
So that's why the Brotherhood of Steel is a very militaristic society. They're raised to fight and kill everything that's corrupt in this new world. So, for example, about 100 miles north of the Brotherhood stronghold where they first started, they refused to send a caravan there, and this was
Because it was too far away.
because it was too far and too dangerous. So why would they send a caravan 3,000 miles across the country to West Virginia,
Where there's nothing.
He raged about this.
where there's
Yes.
literally nothing? And the Brotherhood of Steel did start before West Virginia's set, so it's possible, I guess, if you can look at it that way, but that's
makes no sense with their
idiotic to me. Now, I don't like the retcon.
Yeah,
As soon
I was
as
curious.
I saw it,
I was curious
raging
about
it
that
for
too, yeah.
weeks.
All right, I just wanted to clear that up, that it wasn't just me. But I thought that's the way that it was, but I wasn't 100% sure.
And obviously, this is supposed to be canon somehow.
It's
I
not
don't
canon.
think
it'll
it's
never be canon.
going to be canon at all.
I hope it's
no.
not.
No, well, I don't know how
Well,
it could.
now it might
There's
have
no way
been
it could have been.
originally planned to be, but now that it's
No, there's
this,
no way. This is an online multiplayer where things reset every 2 hours. There's no way there's any canon here.
I just miss Black Isle. That's all I know.
All this is a sandbox for you to go play in until you get bored, and then get out.
Which there's
As
nothing
I've
to
played an
engage
hour,
you.
I can tell you it's boring very quickly.
Oh, I'm already done with it. All this negativity aside, there are two fantastic things in this game. One is the map that they created.
The
That
map
map
is
is
very
beautiful, and I really hope that going forward they use that style. And two, Inan Zur returns to create a wonderfully majestic musical score for this.
Literally, that's the best thing in the game.
Those are the two best things in the game: the music and the map.
Like,
Okay,
what
back
did-
to the
So you
Negative,
guys want to
though.
actually
No,
spend
but-
some time,
but-
put the map up, and just listen to music. That's all you
Yeah.
got. Just
Well-
chill there.
even if you are playing the game and you're wandering through the woods of a wasteland, what he did with his instrumentation was made it feel.
instrumentation.
That's the correct
He,
word there.
he made it feel
That's wild.
like you are more alone.
He gave it an
He
atmosphere.
created more desolation.
What I would recommend for this
fantastic.
game is wait until 2019 when it can be modded, so that the modding community can save this game just like they have every other Bethesda game for the last 3 years, and then go from there.
What I recommend
Put the music up to 100.
is
too,
you-
'cause
is
Kevin's
you-
right. It's a very good musical.
you
series.
actually take Fallout 3 and then put the music from this game behind it and just play.
play that game.
Play that game. There you go. That's not a bad idea. Well, keep the voice because you get Liam Neeson in 3, so you're gonna want that.
Just play New Vegas.
I tried very.
I actually have not played New Vegas.
I tried very
well.
hard to give this a fair shake, and I love the Fallout games, even though I haven't played all of them. I think it's a really interesting concept, and I've enjoyed the quirkiness of it. But
It's the best part.
this is a really, really bad disappointment. As far as I was really super pumped about it, I was like all ready, and then watching it be played, and I'll probably go through and play it myself for a little while, just because I'm a glutton for punishment like that. But
So there's a reason we were all very disappointed. Fine, finish.
no, go ahead.
There's a reason we're all disappointed, and that was because at E3, Todd Howard came out and said some things. That,
He talked about family.
that didn't
Before
pan out.
any of this, when this game was first announced,
You cut me off.
I'm going to
Everybody's
keep
getting
cutting
cut
you
off
off.
at
You're,
this
you're
table.
cut off.
I'm next.
I was very
Get into
down
your
on
thing
it.
so I can cut
I
you
think
off.
Jake was with me being down on
He
it.
was.
I don't remember. But then when Todd Howard came out and talked about it, he brought me hope
He
this
coerced
franchise.
us. He persuaded us.
He talked
gave us
about
the
family.
date rape drug.
He was probably coercing himself.
The good folks over
He
at
does what behinds
Forbes.com put together a little list they went back and watched it, and they put some quotes up of things he had said.
Yikes.
Out there, Todd said, all new rendering, lighting, and landscape technology. It allows us to have 16 times the detail and even view distant weather systems all across the map.
I mean, you have trees that have leaves on them this time.
The water doesn't move when you drink it.
Your
Your guy just dips his hand in.
There's
pulls
no
up nothing.
ripples. There's no
There's
water
not
in
a
his
ripple,
hand.
There's no water in his hand. There's no detail at all.
Maybe that's what they mean by 16 times. Like it's microscopic. Like 16 times.
16 times. You have to
It's
zoom
beyond our
in
vision.
16 times.
The little
to
atoms
see a
of the
detail.
water in your hand.
Yeah, to me, actually, this looks like a step back. As we were talking before the show earlier when we were going through it a little bit, it looks like last gen to me.
PS3.
Not even
Oh,
current. It definitely not 16 times better detail.
That's
It
on an
looks
X too.
worse. Yeah,
That's
that was
running
on
on
the
an
Xbox
X.
Imagine
One.
that on like
The most powerful console wants to shut itself off.
it's like it's talking to you.
So here's something else he said. We've always wanted to tell that story of what it would be like for you and other characters who were first to leave the vaults. But there is one big difference with this game. Each of those characters is a real person. The audience cheers. Fallout 76 is entirely online. Unfortunately for us, we misunderstood him. We didn't realize at that time he meant the only characters in the game
Real
were
people.
us. We thought we were getting Fallout 4 or 3 or New Vegas, whichever Fallout you hold true to your heart, plus online.
But
That
even if
did
it
not
was,
happen.
why it would have been awesome to have the sense of community where you run into a settlement, you build one, and you turn it into a town with random people.
That's
Right.
happening. Now, people are trying their best to make this game good.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't have to do that for a game, but people are trying. Like, they're doing fetch quests. People, like real people, sit there and give you caps and stuff for going out and collecting stuff.
Oh my
I
god.
mean, I could
There's a
not
community.
put that into this game to try and make it
Maybe in VR.
good for myself.
Yeah,
It
like
is- it is
the,
that
the
bad.
part of the quote where each of
Yikes.
those characters is a real person. We didn't realize it meant we have removed human NPCs from the game entirely.
Bob from down the street's my vendor, and I gotta go get him some mushrooms.
Oh, hey, Bob.
So-
Jesus.
I
Kevin's
mean,
played this for 7 hours. I've played this for an hour maybe in there, just a minute ago there. Biggest things to me, frame rate's all over the place. Jumps up and down. It's
I was
never
think-
stable.
was getting motion sickness just sitting in there watching it.
Oh, it's bad.
It
And
is
I don't
so
get
bad.
motion
not,
sickness.
and this
That-
is on the X,
I
so
was
it's
gonna say,
not a stable frame rate.
That's
No, it's so bad.
The most powerful console on the planet.
2, there was some random coding break or rendering issues where half the screen disappeared for a second. It was just blue.
Yep.
The water looks like Skyrim water, and by that I mean the rock is fighting it and just splushing everywhere. It's ridiculous. And 4, everything dies so quickly, and you're
Yeah.
an unkillable tank unless you swim in an irradiated pool for 40 minutes trying to get yourself a mutation, because that's the best part of the game.
Which was also incorrect because they told us it would physically show for a
Well, no,
Oh, yeah.
it does. It does.
It was just
shows.
that one that
Yeah.
didn't have one, I guess.
It just hasn't been long enough. Here's another quote. Of
Terrible.
course, you can play this solo, but like many of you, we have wanted to see what our style of game could be with multiplayer. Now, here's the thing about multiplayer. I would actually advise to all of you to play it solo. Because when you're doing these quests that aren't really quests, you have to take these hollow tapes and you have to put them in the consoles, or you have to do things on the consoles, and each player of your party has to do these things. And you all have to go and craft. And you all have to go and do these upgrades.
Jake couldn't be our craft.
And you have to do this.
Could not.
No, he could. He just dropped the stuff to us.
Well, you have to do this one player at a time, because only one player can use the console. Only one player can use the crafting station. So your team has to be very patient in order to remain a team.
You just cycle, guys. Hey, you do that. I'll craft. You go over there and boil some water, and then switch.
Boil some.
That's a huge part of the game.
It is
Gotta boil the water.
huge.
Gotta
The
drink
food
every
and
10
water
minutes.
is ridiculous.
Again, no
what
sense
else
of
did he say?
continuance of time.
He says, it's more softcore survival. Death never really means the loss of progression or your character.
That's true.
You'll be in a world with dozens of other players, not thousands.
Less so there.
Dozens of players ended up being exactly 24 24 players total. which means the vast majority of the map is unpopulated by players at a given time, and the death penalties are so inconsequential that you can actually die and just use it to essentially heal up and keep fighting.
Yep, I did that earlier.
Especially in PvP encounters, but abuse that too much and all your gear will break. That's a bizarre system from start to finish.
Oh,
He then said, when we think about games, we think about worlds and the choices you can make, the stories you create and tell yourself. We have a game
You're just
more
hurting
than
me at
any
this point. Why do you keep
game
going on?
that we've ever done.
he talked
Where the
about
choices are
family.
yours, where you'll decide what happens, you'll decide the heroes, and you'll decide the villains.
Happens.
Yeah, but there
nothing happens.
So
I
technically,
don't understand.
They mean it's all your choice, so that
We-
means there is
we-
no actual story.
yeah.
It's all
You
you.
shut the game off and never touch it again.
We didn't
I think the villain
actually
is Fallout.
understand what he was telling us there.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Not
we understand.
technically
My,
lies.
my actual question
Misconceptions on our part.
is okay. So games like this with huge studios behind them, like Bethesda, they get tested, right? How you fire everybody that tested this game and said anything positive about it? Because how do you release this?
Because it's
I-
a cash grab.
Really wonder.
That's the
Yeah.
biggest thing
But that's
that
the
pissed
thing.
me off. Is
Yeah,
that
well, to be fair, if it was like an
No, we
actual
haven't
like beta
got to the
testers,
atomic
We haven't
shot
got
yet.
to
We
the
will
cash
hit
grab
that.
yet.
Just you wait.
But that's the thing. Is
My thing, though-
there can't be that many people. First of all, I know there were so many cancellations of pre-orders when the beta dropped, and secondly, we have microtransactions. So give us that discussion.
Let's talk about the atoms. So, in the menu screen, you can go in, and so what you're finding in the world are weapons, outfits. You got your Pip Boy. You have
Your camp
different
to
you got your
build.
camp to build, and then if you go into the map and then over to the menu, there's the atomic shop. And if you go to the atomic shop, they have all sorts of cosmetic items, all sorts of emotes available for you to purchase with a currency called atoms. And the way you get atoms is by purchasing atom packs through the Microsoft Store or whatever store is present on the console that you're playing on. And then you can also earn atoms in the game, which those are very, very limited. And they're reset weekly. There are challenges for daily challenges, weekly challenges, and just I haven't looked at them all, but just looking at overview, I saw a weekly challenge which rewarded 10 atoms. That may sound like nothing, and I'm going to tell you it's nothing. Because when you go into the atom shop, I kind of made my character like a vampire looking. I was replicating Dracula. And then I go into
I
the
thought it
atom
was a
shop.
mannequin you were going for because
No,
you hit
I was going
that
for
pretty
Dracula.
well.
I was going for Dracula,
Plastic
and then
doll,
I
Ken,
went in there,
whatever you want to call it.
and to my surprise, I saw an outfit that was a vampire outfit, and I was like, "Oh, there
pretty
it
cool
is.
looking.
I'm going to get that one." And it's 800 atoms, and I was like, "Well, how much do these atoms cost?" So I went into the store, and a pack of 1,000 atoms costs $10.
I want to take your money.
Yes, they do.
Thank you,
How
Count.
long did you wait to say that?
He's
And it
been waiting.
hurts.
Literally
He's been
since
waiting.
we started the vampire thing.
So these microtransactions just put a stamp on how bad this game is.
And that stamp is BB.
Yeah, what's that
is
stamp one more time?
BB.
Bargain bin.
Our first one ever.
Yep.
It is.
We should
We
celebrate.
have played so many indies. We have played so many games with
Played a
such
5-hour indie last night.
such.
I give it a
small-
C. Or, I mean, I'm sorry, an A.
C with such
Where'd
How
the
did I
C
even
come
mess
from?
those letters up? I'm an idiot, but
with like just tiny budgets, minuscule in comparison.
Yeah, this is a
And
major. This was
never
one of
getting
our
out of
most
BB.
anticipated games.
It was.
That's the biggest
After
slap in the
E3.
face in my book is that we were anticipating it and
big old
they
trash
just
can.
don't care. This was simply just here, we're going to placate you, take your cash, and oh, look at this wonderful project. But there's nothing in it. There's nothing in it. The best thing about it is simply the music.
My
In which
only
case,
hope-
just go buy the soundtrack and be done with it.
That's what I would recommend. My only hope for this is that it's just to bankroll Starfield and TES 6.
I think
The only hope.
that they're gonna not get that bankroll they were looking for.
Well, not now
Because
because it's a trash
a
game.
week after its release, they were already selling it for $35.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
that for Black Friday.
yeah.
Yeah, imagine
So,
that.
That's 30% off 1 week after release.
yeah, that's not a good sign.
Yikes. I
Not a
can
good
tell
sign
you
at all.
on Black Friday, I bought Super Mario Party full price.
I
But
mean,
to be
if
fair-
they're-
Weeks after
if they're
release.
apologizing to their fans about the game.
I haven't
mean,
seen
that's-
anything yet.
No, there has been no apology.
They're sticking by
I
this.
saw
So
a
far.
joke one that was hilarious. But
To
not
be
more.
fair, Elder Scrolls Online had a rocky launch. It took them about a year, and they smoothed everything out.
This game doesn't make it a year.
But they had direction. That's the difference here. This game has no direction. All they want you to do is hang out with your friends and play in the wasteland.
in the sandbox.
And the way they set it up so that you can't be modded at launch, they have ruined their best chance at saving this game.
Yeah.
Because a year from now, when you're actually able to mod it, no one's going to care enough to do that. It's not going to be
No,
played.
It's a week after launch, and you've got communities trying to play fake NPCs for you.
Yeah,
Like-
it's just a major
And that's
miss.
just saying
The
a lot about
modding
the dedication
community
of the fans.
Would have modded NPCs into the game.
They would.
Just, it blows my mind.
It's just an
Poor
unfortunate
decisions.
release.
Just go buy Pokemon.
Just
Just go play Pokemon.
Definitely get
It's
Pokemon.
literally anything.
And it was Fallout 76, our first ever
Bargain bin.
bargain bin
Title.
grade.
So congrats, Todd Howard. You really
They pulled it
Really
off.
earned-
It was
It's Pete Hines is the top
Pete
guy.
Hines is the top
We're
guy.
all attacking Todd Howard, but to be fair,
Yes.
he's
We're
just the guy
attacking-
He
who
sold
does
it
what
to
he
us. He
gave
said.
us
We're
hope.
attacking Todd Howard for making it one of our most anticipated titles with
That's
that
fair.
E3 performance that he put on. He deserves an Academy
He knows how
Award.
to
Yes,
play
he
that.
does.
He knows how to play the crowd. I'll give him that.
Oh
Best
my God. We were
lead
like, okay.
male role. Fallout 76 demonstration presentation. And they had the little cinematics. It was just a masterpiece.
The
The
They're
cinematics
damned
is
to
beautiful.
sell it,
And then
that's
when
for
we
sure.
look at it, it's like this is it does
You
not
put more effort into your
match.
production than you did the game.
The real hook here for me is that if you use the beta code for your pre-order, you couldn't get a refund.
Right.
So that was they got you then. You're into it.
And they made some money off it, but
Maniacal laughter ensues.
I mean,
I don't
the beta was
foresee them making much more.
literally the beta. When the first one streamed, I was like, this is gonna be a terrible game.
And it actually happened to be that. But unfortunately, that is all the time we have this week. I want to thank you all for listening. I want to thank you guys for being part of the panel.
Of course.
Remember, this Sunday, December 2nd,
Sunday.
12
Sunday,
noon
Sunday.
Eastern, we are doing our extra live stream part 2. Please tune in to our Twitch channel for that. And we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks, Gabriel.
See ya.
Before we go, I just want to apologize for the mass amount of negativity tonight. But
Yeah.
I'll see you all next time.
We did kind of end on a sad note.
See you, everyone.
Final Fantasy VII is never coming.